All right, so today we have my favorite comedian literally sitting next to me. He has a special on EPIX. He's been on Comedy Central, Shameless, Chicago PD. He just did The Bear this season. He made Kevin Hart laugh. This guy literally is my favorite comic. And I'm not just saying that. I mean that. Give it up for Calvin Evans. Bro, thanks for coming on. Incredible stand-up comedian. Legitimately my favorite comic is sitting here. So we have him on the pod.
Oh, man.
It's an honor to have you on, bro. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for talking to us. I just want to give a little bit of a intro to you, to the people. Chicago PD, Shameless, The Bear, just Comedy Central. He has a special on EPIX, Unprotected Sets. This guy's been literally laugh tracks, True TV, everywhere you could think there's comedy, he's there. This guy made Kevin Hart laugh, and now he's sitting here. It's an honor, man. So now hit that thing one more time. Thank you so much for coming on, G. It means the world, bro. I want to start off. So I did a lot of research on you. On some not on some weird, but on some but
it's on the internet.
Yeah, it's not some. I feel I have to clarify, but I saw that you told a story once about. I want to talk about your start in stand up, and then we'll transition to the acting stuff.
Okay.
You started off. You played basketball at U of I. You were a walk on. Is this true?
Yeah.
So I don't know you were a hooper like that, but I grew up hooping too. But you're a walk on U of I, and so. Your first time doing stand-up, there was some sort of event or something. They asked you to just come be funny. Is this true or is?
Yeah. So a guy we was in school together. His name is Calvin King, and he was he used to host everything on campus, all type of shows and stuff. He was like, man, I'm putting together a variety show, and man, you funny. You should do some stand-up. And I think he was just feeling time. I think he was just like, man, we need something to fill here. He's like, man, you funny. And he just, you should do some stand-up. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I didn't plan on showing up actually. I was just like, yeah, I got you. And then the week of, he was like, you gonna be there Friday, right? And I was like, yeah, I'll be there. So I just, sucked it up. And I just wrote some stuff down. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
How did that go?
It was good. I was super nervous. And my thing was I just want to talk about stuff that's funny to me going on campus.
Yeah.
And I remember I wrote some stuff down. And I'm looking at the paper and I'm saying the stuff. And it's everybody looking it was the most supportive start.
Nice.
First time doing stand up comedy because I've always been able to be funny around people that I know. Yeah. But I was never a class clown. Hey, everybody look at me.
Yeah.
But I always felt comfortable. I know how to make people laugh. But to stand in front of people and all right, I got to make all y'all laugh at the same time and I don't know y'all. So it was very supportive and everybody people laughing. They were just kind of waiting for the next thing. What now? What else you got? So
how many minutes you do?
Man, I probably did 3, maybe 5 minutes.
That's amazing.
But it always feels like forever.
Yeah.
When you're up there, it's just everybody looking at me. But it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
This is your first time?
First time.
So with the basketball group. You said in you.
No. He walked on for basketball.
Oh, he walked on. Okay, I thought you performed for.
That's actually impressive too, man. Because U of I that's D1.
Oh yeah, Big Ten, man. It was a dream come true, and I think it was really short lived.
Yeah.
So I had tried out my first 2 years, and then I tried out my junior year. Started my junior year.
Yeah.
And I got the phone call coming out of class, and it was man, pursuit of happiness.
Really?
I'm walking down campus
yeah.
Nobody know why is this guy yelling, but it was just hey, we want you to come in and talk about an opportunity on the basketball team. And that was for me, I grew up playing basketball 4 years of high school, and wanting to always play college basketball, but not being in a high school program that would get into a college, and not really having anybody to be oh, this is what you got to work on. I just literally played basketball every summer, played during the school year, basketball year round.
Yeah.
But never AAU and stuff like that. So trying out and making the team was a dream come true.
So early on when you first started, was there somebody you look up to in your who you're trying to be within locally?
You said in terms of stand up?
Yeah.
No, I was in college, so I didn't get to watch stand up. So everything I watched was people that I grew up watching stand up. So I think Jamie Foxx was probably one of the funniest people, most talented people, but also funny people. And I think if I go back and watch clips, I'd be that's me doing a version of Jamie Foxx.
So you can recognize.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go back to basketball just for a quick sec. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Lakeview High School.
Lakeview?
Yeah.
No way. We played you guys at the high school, but I don't know what year you graduated, but
Oh man, I'm old, man. 03.
No, okay. Yeah,
What high school did you go to?
I went to Northtown. It's on Peterson Pulaski. I don't know if you.
Nah, I never heard of high school.
Yeah, it's like a rundown. It's like old, like the ceilings coming off. Like it's like one of those, but it's like it's home. But I played varsity over there. We played against you guys, but the only schools that we would beat is like the all Mexican schools, like out west, like Christopher, whatever. Those schools that are just like soccer players. They just like they were bums. You like they couldn't hoop at all. But we played this one school. I don't know if you know who Tevin King is. He's in the G League now for the Spurs. Mm-hmm. The first time I ever went viral was because this guy he ripped me up, and then as I was bringing the ball up, and he was like on a fast break. Yeah. And then I thought I was gonna chase down, and then this dude jumps up and just freaking like reverse, like made eye contact and just freaking, and it just kept running, and then that clip went viral on. But yeah, so that's how basketball. But so you played for Lakeview?
Yeah, I played back. Yeah, all 4 years.
Nice, man. What position you played?
Shooting guard.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
bro. So okay. So why was it short lived then? So you made the team and then.
So I made the team, and it was, to me, it was years. It was years of. I just thought that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing in practice.
Okay.
And literally it was like, I made the team, and then when I got to the team, like in terms of like going to like the rec, playing basketball, like I was a dog, like in the rec. And then when I made the team, I was kind of like intimidated because like all these guys got scholarships. I'm like, oh shit. So I kind of like took a back seat, like, oh no, go ahead. Like I kind of shrunk myself because I felt like I was around people that's like, oh, you supposed to be here. They paying you to play, to be in the school, and I felt like I would be in the way, and I just wasn't really producing. And then I think my last day in practice was like something clicked in my head, like just fucking play basketball. Yeah. And I had a great fucking practice, but by that time I felt like they had already made their mind up. So I left when I went to the coach. It was Bruce Weber. I mean, he called me into his office after practice. He was like, yeah, this isn't work. He was like, are you not going to a class? I had like a speech hearing science class. I stopped going to because practice started when I was supposed to be in that class. So I didn't know how to drop it, so I just stopped going. Yeah. And they keep track of that stuff. They's like, yeah, this isn't working out, Yeah. He kind of hit like we was like breaking up in a relationship. Like, it's us, not you, type shit. And I remember like leaving out of there. And I remember I went to his office to try to talk to him like 3 times for like a week straight. Like I kept going back, like trying to plead with him, like, man, please, I took care of the class. Yeah. Like, I can do better in practice. And he just was like, and I felt like when I finally caught him, I was talking to him. You feel somebody like soften up, like. And he was like, no, we can't. It's too. So, and I would like, that was kind of like I start kind of like the spiral of me, like kind of like fuck school, like I'm done with school, because that was like, you had this opportunity that you always wanted. Yeah. Now it's gone. Now I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Yeah. And it's not that I didn't go to school to play basketball, but now it's gone. It felt like something like kind of like my heart was ripped out. Yeah. And then years later. One of my guys, he played for the team, Calvin Brock. I remember I was hosting my a mutual friend wedding. And he was like, man, you know why you got cut from the team? And I'm like, yeah, man, I wasn't going to a class. He was like, no. No, you got cut from the team because you asked for gear. And I was like, what you talking about? He's like, yeah, the equipment manager, he didn't like you.
What?
And he was good with the coach. And I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? And I know specifically what he was talking about. I remember I was going to practice. I had on this old ass Rockaway hoodie. Yeah. It was like 2006. I had an old ass Rockaway hoodie that I had since high school. So I'm showing up to practice looking like a fucking bum. Yeah. And everybody else got on like, you go to college, everybody got gear on. Like you got the Nike, Illinois
the backpacks
shit,
too.
Sweat, all that shit. Yeah. And I remember like being in practice and I was like getting taped up. And I remember I asked the equipment guy, like, no bullshit. Like I'm not, like I come, like my parents raised me very well. Yeah. So I said, will I be able to get like a hoodie and like, cause like I'm on a team. I want to I want to let people know I'm on a team. Yeah. So I was like, will I be able to get like a hoodie? And the guy looked at me. He's like, you'll get one when you're supposed to. No way. And I was like, okay. But it was like it was like a different tone from mine. Mine was just like I'm a kid. Like, hey, will I be able to get one of those? He's like, when you're supposed to, you'll get one. And I was like, okay. And I think because I asked. He was pissed off that I asked for gear, but I don't know how he took me asking, and then he went to the coach and was like, I don't like this guy.
Why do equipment managers have power like that? Since when don't they just grab balls?
I don't know.
That's so wild to me.
No, grab balls down wild. Don't they just grab balls? No, but that's why, and that was for literally, it took maybe like 8 years after college for me to find the information out. So this whole time in my head, and I actually use that shit. I'm thinking like, so when I left college, my thing was like, if you ever get an opportunity, don't shrink yourself and go hard at that shit. So after that, when I started comedy in 2010, I'm just like, yo, any chance I get, I gotta fucking go for it.
Yeah.
When the whole time it was like some dude just didn't like me. that was my villain origin story.
Hey, now do you still hoop?
Yeah, I hoop here and there.
Nice, man.
I fucked my knee up when I was living in LA playing basketball, so I had to get surgery. But I hoop, but now it's like I got to hoop with like guys in my age range.
Okay.
Like I can't hoop with nobody in their 20s that think they still got a chance.
Okay, there we go.
At the NBA, I'm just like, man, I need to hoop with guys. They got a family or
they have kids.
Like we can get competitive, but it's not gonna be like I'm finna leave it all on the court because like I gotta go to work in the morning.
No, for sure. I'm the same way. Momo had hoop dreams too. I mean, I did too. I thought I was gonna make it until.
That dude reverse dunked on you and that
definitely changed the trajectory. I had my junior year. I played varsity. I played in this other league, and in the league, I got an offer to play JUCO at Truman.
Oh, dope!
My junior year, I averaged 18 a game. I was my senior year. My numbers went down to like 1 point something a game. Like I started doing theater. So I started kind of sucking. Then they took the offer away from me. So it just wasn't. But I was never really gonna. I mean, maybe I could play back home. Like they don't hoop over there. Maybe I could do that, but there's no way that I was ever gonna.
Oh man, I mean, to even get an offer letter to that, I mean, I think that would have changed my life. To just be like,
but it was a verbal. It wasn't like oh, you got to play at Truman. I was like, oh hell yeah. And then the next year he's like, you know what? Nah, there wasn't even a story like what you like. It was a class. It was just like, nah.
So you took theater like it was like extracurricular theater.
No, this was my junior year of high school. They offered me
right. So you said by senior year you started doing theater.
Oh, I started doing theater. Yeah.
And then you just kind of got more into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started doing that more, so I just wasn't good at basketball. But I still hoop now though, pretty like frequently. But like you said, it's not like competitively. I'll play in leagues with like the thing is I hate playing at rec leagues because there's like levels. Mm-hmm. There's like the highest level, then there's like recreational, then there's like the girls and the guys. Like I like to play in like the middle level, but it's all the hoopers that didn't make it. They don't do the highest level because they want to win the chip. So they'll just play in that middle like. So I'm playing against like freaking this guy just got out of jail. This guy's freaking cooking me, and I'm just freaking dying. But yeah, I don't. So I just kind of I'm friends with like a bunch of like Indian dudes. We're not athletic. We're just and they're on my team, and we're not winning, dude.
So y'all got to move down.
We got to
move. Yeah. Us 5 guys gonna play that co-ed team over there.
Honestly, bro, that's how it went down. But yeah. So we talked about the beginning of your journey. So we'll transition back to stand up, and so you started with that. So after that first time on stage, were you like, all right, I could do this? Like, how did that go mentally for you?
I did that one show. That was probably like, shit. I was on the verge of getting kicked out of school. So that whole semester after I got like cut from the basketball team, I kind of gave up on school. Mm-hmm. This was the end of the spring semester. Like we going home, and I was supposed to be going into my senior year. And I didn't do stand up until like January of the following year. Mm-hmm. So
the second time.
Yeah, for the second time. So that May, I did it on stage. I was like, all right, that was cool. And then it's like, oh shit, I think I'm about to get kicked out of school. Went to summer school. Ended up getting kicked out of school for that. My senior year will have been my fall semester. Yeah. And then I get back in school January of 2007. I was supposed to be graduating, and I think it was like a show or something, and it was like my first time back on stage, I was like talking about going to a community college in town and all that experience and shit. Yeah. And I remember this guy that he was like, "Damn man, you really did." Like it felt. I probably did 10 minutes, but it felt like an hour special. Yeah. Because I felt like I got all this shit off my chest, and like it was so relatable when people was laughing and shit. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't think there's a tape out there but I remember this guy came. He was like, "Man, you like really." You really like you gonna do stand up? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And then after that, it was like my fifth senior year was like me just hosting shows and stuff on campus, and that was it. Like there was like in terms of like stand up, like I was like so used to hosting, like go on stage, be in a moment, make people laugh about things we just witnessed, have an opinion about something real fast. But in terms of like doing stand up, I didn't have any knowledge of like, damn, how do I like all of these people know me. We go to school together.
Yeah.
They know me around campus. They know our whole shit. You know, I can you know, talk about shit, make them laugh. But to like, walk a room full of strangers was like, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
So those 2 times, and then right before I graduated, I rented out a cafe in the Union.
Yeah.
I produced like a stand up show. I think I did like 50 minutes.
50?
I did 50 minutes. Unrehearsed, unperformed.
Yeah.
It was just like I wrote all this shit down and I went up there and I just went. Like it was like packed. A lot of people showed up. My parents drove down to the show.
Nice.
And in the back, it was my friend of mine. He just with a handy cam, just in the
Nice.
back on a shaky table.
Yeah.
And I fucking put it on a DVD and I called it Calvin Evans. I ain't lying.
Yeah.
And I was selling it on campus.
No way. How did it do?
You know what? I think I probably sold like 50 DVDs.
Nice, bro.
Like at the time, I think I was selling it for like $3 or $4 or some shit.
Okay.
I went to GameStop and I was like, do y'all have any like old cases y'all not using?
Yeah.
So they gave me all these like Xbox, like the green Xbox. So I took all those and it was like a fucking, like I had like a little production going. So I printed out my picture and on the back, put the little piece of paper in there, cut it. And then I would like burn the DVD and I put it in there and I was selling them on campus.
Damn. Do you still have any copies?
Shit. I probably got one somewhere.
Dang. You got to keep that. That's historic, bro.
Yeah. That shit crazy. That's like crazy. I like to like go back and watch this grainy ass handy cam footage and be like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Just watching jokes go nowhere. Like it just start off with like a premise and then like it just end and like on to the next,
the next premise.
Like, oh my God, this is horrible.
But it went well though.
No, it did. I mean, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
For what it's worth at the time. You like when you do something, you're like, man, that was amazing. It's like that was the best I could have did at that time.
Yeah. Do you think that was the birth of like, okay, now full time, this is where we're going?
With comedy, it's like there's no path to comedy.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like there's no like, all right, you know, you go to school, like this is your career path. Like these are the things you got to do. With comedy, it's like you just have to do it, and then as you're doing it, you figure it out as you go. Like, oh, where do I go and how do I do things?
Yeah.
So I think that right there, when I finished, I graduated after that, and I was saying to myself that summer, like, oh man, I want to be a comedian. And I remember my father being like, man, you just graduated. Like, what are you talking about? This is a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you wanted to be a comedian? And I think that kind of like, it was like a punch in the chest, like, oh shit, I gotta get a job. So I got a job, but the whole time I would like do shows here and there. But I'm watching TV and I'm like, damn, I just saw that guy in Chicago, and now he on late night. Yeah. And I like, damn, like, and like all these dudes are like around my age, and I'm like, fuck, like I gotta go for it. So that's when I like quit my job because I felt like I was behind the ball. Mm-hmm. At this point, I'm like 25, and I'm like, damn, I'm behind the ball. Like I got to get to it. Yeah. So I quit my job, came back to Chicago. Zanies, Jokes and Notes, and then whatever show was going on in town. It was like 5 nights a week. It was like everything comedy.
Yeah. You're just hitting the stage every single night.
Every single night, and Jokes and Notes obviously was a black club on the South Side.
Yeah.
And like comedy on the South Side and the North Side is just two different worlds. Mm-hmm. Because like black comedy is you got to make it, you got to be fucking funny.
Yeah.
North Side comedy, it's like we'll hear you out.
Okay.
We'll see where this is going. Okay, all right, and we're not gonna boo you. If we don't like you, we're just not gonna laugh.
Yeah.
But like black comedy is like, hey, what the fuck is he talking about? Hey man, hey, bring the host back up, you know. And it's like so like doing like both sides of town, and then like finding like a voice in the middle where it's just like I learned how to walk on stage, be funny right away, have jokes that people can listen to, be funny along the way long enough that it's engaging enough. Yeah. And then like just like that's how like I was like how I felt like I got good because I did comedy everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I feel like people that just do comedy in each side of town, it makes it harder to do it everywhere. Yeah. Because it's just like I said, it's just two different styles of comedy. And that's what I felt like it took me like 4 years of doing that. Then being like, okay, I got that. And then after that it was like, all right, I gotta find like what's my thing? Like what's my voice? Yeah.
And when you found that, what was that feeling like? What was there a moment in that where you were like, all right, I found my voice now. This is what
I think once I found my voice, like my voice and my point of view, which is two different things. Once I found it, then it was just like that's when I recognized like, oh shit, I'm good at this. Like I can I can consistently be good at comedy no matter where I go.
Yeah.
So can you make that distinction? You said there's a difference between voice and POV.
POV is what people expect from you.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. So like, Bill Burr's point of view.
Yeah.
You know Dave Chappelle's point of view. Kevin Hart's point of view. But your voice, how you deliver that, is a whole nother thing.
Okay.
Right. So when Kevin, here's the thing. Guys, it's like that's his voice.
Okay.
So anytime somebody can imitate your voice, it's just like, oh shit, that's very important.
Yeah.
You know what Bernie Mac sound like when you hear his voice. You know very specific comedians. Sebastian, like that's their voice, but their point of view is like that's what we go for.
Yeah.
I love the way you sound. Like I would love to, if I could, I would love to hear Bernie Mac just tell me the news.
Yeah.
Like just tell me the news like as you. Like I don't care. Like that's the shit I want to hear. But then when you get on stage, what you're talking about, and I know where you're gonna attack it from. Like Chris Rock, I know how he gonna attack some political shit. Yeah. Where it's just like, all right, I want to hear it. So it's like trying to find those two things as a comedian.
Yeah.
But once you got it, then it's just like, all right, now you driving a car with some gas in it.
Yeah.
Because before it's just like, I'm just trying to get this motherfucker started. But once that, now you can go places.
So now that you found your voice and your point of view, is material come easier to you now when you're writing? What is that process like?
I think now it's like, now you think in your point of view. Because at first it's just how do I feel about this? But now I know how I feel about shit, or like what's my position on things. Yeah. So now I'm just processing shit in that already. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as like I see something, it's just like now I could just go on stage and be like, all right, let me give it to you as as I see it.
Yeah, for sure. I find that so interesting. I feel like a lot of the things when I'm doing jokes or when I'm writing is like, it's like my initial reaction to whatever, like kind of like what you said. Like if I see something political that happens like back home or something, I'm like, wait, that's not real, or and then that kind of just becomes the premise of the thing. So it kind of comes, I guess, because I'm thinking in that mindset already. So that's an interesting.
Right. And I think a lot of times most comedians, like even if you go back and watch like well-known comedians that we watch, if you go back and watch one of the earlier sets, it was always there. They just haven't tapped into it. So it's like when we talk about our voice and our point of view, it was always there. It's just like I'll watch an old clip and I'll be talking about something and I'll be like, oh, that's the thing that it's like it was like it was just passing real fast, like shit. And it took me a while to be like, all right, slow down. Yeah. This is it right there. So yeah. So it's there. It's just like tapping into it.
No, that's incredible, man. I mean, you tapped in for sure, G. The stuff you do. Incredible, man. But I wanted to ask, so a lot of comics came out of Chicago, a lot of successful comedians, and we don't have time to name them all. Do you think, and you mentioned North Side, South Side performing in these different places, what do you think it is about Chicago that makes people, like comedians, just so strong? Like the reputation, even when you go to different cities, like, oh, you're from Chicago, oh, damn, you're funny, you've got to be funny. Like we have this rep in our city. Like, what do you think, that there's something about the city itself that you think, or is it the scene itself, or what do you...
I think we don't have any industry here. So New York, LA, it's industry there. It's people that's gonna watch you and be like, you can get this job. Yeah, we can hire you for this thing. Yeah, and that kind of dictates your how you perform. Yeah. So if everybody if the industry like this person, then I need to be a version of that person in order to get the opportunities. There's nobody here watching us, so we get the trial and error. We get to fail with no repercussions. Yeah. Because if you're in New York and there's a booker or somebody that's over a show that just hangs out at shows and they see you, they can just deem you, you're not ready. I saw you that one time and you're not ready. I look at you in another year. Yeah. Chicago, we could just we can get on stage, we can experiment, we can try shit. We got motherfuckers doing musical comedy. Yeah. We got like very alternative shit where it's just like, if you don't like it, all right, cool. Yeah. Like for instance, like Sarah Squirm, I'm not sure where she came from. I think she was from Jersey, but I remember her just being on the scene. But it's a lot of shit. I'm forgetting names right now, but Sarah Squirm is one of them. What's my man Joe? He went to JFL.
Joe, from here?
He not from here. He's from Florida, but he was on the scene here. He went to JFL a few years ago. Joe McMahon. Okay. So I'm saying like those people that show up. Yeah. Vince Bryant, like they show up and it's just like there's no penalty for me being me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's no penalty for me Because you might, like, and that's what I'm saying. If somebody's watching you and they just be like, I don't like that. Motherfuckers come through Chicago when it was JFL was popping. They'd come through Chicago once a year. You may submit a tape, CBS showcase. It was just like certain things that came once a year, and it's just like, all right, if y'all don't fuck with us, we gonna keep pushing. Yeah. And also, people come to see us. Yeah. Like L.A., New York, when they go to the store, when they go to Caroline's, or not Caroline's, but they go to the cellar. They going to see names. Yeah. Who gonna drop in tonight? Motherfuckers show up to the Laugh Factory and Zany's. Yeah. Most nights and don't know who the fuck gonna be there, but they just know like we came to see comedy. Yeah. And somebody gonna be funny. Yeah. And that's like reassuring you as a comedian, where it's just like, yo, it's fucking 300 people in here. Yeah. It's 150 is packed in here. Yeah. I rock that shit. And they'll walk out of it and they may forget your name, but you are who you are. Yeah. Versus being like, oh man, you know, you in LA or you in New York, they like, yeah, we what's your credits? Like, what do you? Yeah. And not to say that they don't book people that don't have credits, but it's just a longer process to even get to a Laugh Factory or get to a Caroline's without somebody vouching for you. Yeah. Here in Chicago, you put up in front of people. And I'm not saying that everybody that performs on these stages are amazing. Yeah. But at any rate, they're still who they are. Yeah. With no consequence. Yeah. And if you're not funny, all right, fuck it. We might book you a little less, but if you're funny, shit, you on there. Yeah.
I love that. I didn't even think about that perspective of that. So you spent time in LA for a little bit. So you were mentioning that. Do you compare the like you said, kind of when people go out there, it's to see names, it's to see whatever. What was your experience like doing stand up out there versus here?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. I was in LA for almost a little over 2 years, and it was the worst. Like in terms of like getting on like just stage time. Like, if I wanted to, I can get up in Chicago. I can do spots. I can hit up people like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come to, and that's cool. But like LA, it's like when people say you go somewhere, you start all over. Yeah. It's literally starting all over. I know comics that live there where it's just like they getting on stage maybe once a week. You know, that's not if they're not regular somewhere already. Yeah. But it's hard to get on stage. LA is a big place. People don't just come out like they come out in Chicago. So to really get people to come see you at a show, you have to have a crazy following, crazy marketing and something like that. Just like, oh, hey, I'm in LA, come see me. It's just like, I don't know you. Yeah. So for 2 years, I did stand up. I did a very small amount of stand up. And when I did, I didn't get to work on things because, all right, shit, I may not be get to do this show again. So I'm just doing like, you know, the hits, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, I got to hit this shit and make sure that I have a great set because this ain't the time to try nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have a great LA experience in terms of like stand up. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a great experience in LA at all, really. Yeah. And I understand that I wasn't there long enough to really like grind it out like I did in Chicago, but it didn't feel like it was for me. And I'm not saying that nobody should go to LA and nobody should go to New York. I think whatever your path takes you, do it. Yeah. But for me, it wasn't enjoyable.
I don't like LA either. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like there's a lot I don't like about it. Do you think that this is how I feel about a lot of LA comedy, and I could be wrong, but my experience, I was only there for 6 months, so I tapped out quick. But I feel like a lot of them are actors that like are told by someone to do stand up to progress in acting. So they're not like stand-ups per se. I don't know if you got the same vibe or
like I said earlier, there's no process to stand up. Yeah. Like tomorrow is I'm a stand up. Tomorrow you can say I'm a comedian. Yeah. And go do a show and just be like, yeah, I'm a comedian now. Yeah. You can put your name, comedian, whatever the fuck, on your social media. And like that's how easy it is to be a stand up. So for an actor to be like, oh yeah, I just need some FaceTime. Yeah. I do it. I take it. Yeah. Yeah. I take some FaceTime, and I think that's the stand-up is the most disrespected art form of all the arts. Yeah. Like, and I've said this on stage, is like if you were in a black box theater and somebody's up there doing some bullshit interpretive dance, you would sit there quietly and it's just like respectfully, like, I don't understand this, but it's art. I understand. And then you fucking leave and you would talk shit about it, but you won't disrespect it in the spot. But stand up, boo. Yeah. Bro, this shit suck. Yeah. I don't like this. Get this. You know, it's like, that's how, so for somebody to just be like, I'm a comedian. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in LA, in Chicago, it's lines. All right. If you're an actor in Chicago, You may be a comedian that has acting opportunities, or you may be an actor. If you're a singer, you sing. In LA, it's you standing in one line. You got your shoe in that line. You set your hat in that line. I know that's I'm over there too. So it's like LA is just people coming from around the world trying to make it in whatever looks like, whatever opportunity is. It's just like, oh, it's a comedy. Yeah, I do comedy. Yeah, I sing, I play. So whatever it is, I think people just opportunities.
I feel like that's why I feel like it's disrespected too, though, because I feel like that craft of stand up is not worked on. So it's just, again, like you said, it's just disrespected. They're just like, oh, we do this, and I don't know. I wouldn't go back personally. I don't know. Would you?
I would have to have a solid job, something like that's the only way I'm going back.
Okay.
Like at the time, I did JFL. Like things were popping. I had got an agent. I took some meetings with some agencies, and I signed with ICM, and like things were like on the up and up. So it was just like, all right, you got to go. Like you got to move. I had been in Chicago 8 years at that point, and it was just like, all right, fuck it, New York or LA. I was like, I want to act more. Yeah. Because I feel like New York was more of a stand up town, so I was like, I'm going to LA. Yeah. And then first 6 months, it was the worst pilot season of like in history. Like I think that's when like all the streaming services like just like hit. So it was like, oh no, we not filming stuff at the top of the year for the fall. We just filming shit year round. And it was like me sitting around like I don't have any auditions. And I forget I've done so much stuff where I forget like damn this shit did happen. I remember recently like so when you audition you get a call back for like a TV show, like an average TV show. You audition, you get a call back. So when you are the main character of the show, like when the show is like in development, like we're about to make this about to go, you audition, call back, and then you test.
Screen test.
Right. So I had a screen test for they were adapting Kevin Hart's Night School into a TV series.
Nice.
So I tested for Kevin Hart character.
Bro, incredible.
And they ended up like the show never happened. I don't believe it happened, but I had tested for it, and I remember like, they went a different direction. But like that was like the closest I got to like, oh shit, like this could really like change my life. But again, moving like when shit like that happens, I just like, all right, on to the next thing. I like tend to like stop. I don't think about it. But I remember I was like, damn, I remember I was in the room with like executives, and they were like, all right, let's see it here. And, all right, cool. All right, yeah. So it's definitely it was definitely an experience.
Yeah, I mean to get that far is you could do it again. You know what I'm saying? If you got it then, you could do it again. But now we live in like a self-tape world now. So I feel like you're represented out there too still, right? Or I'm sure.
No. Oh, so I have So I have I don't have the agent that I had anymore, but I have a manager, and it's all the same shit.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, if you could self-tape there, call back, fly out. If you book it, there we go. You're there now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it. I feel like in this world now, it's not as necessary as it was. You know, whenever amount of years ago, I feel like a lot of it is just. I mean, it's for the acting part too. It's self-tape, callback. If you get the callback, sure, you fly out. But for stand-up, I feel like you could be anywhere now. Like
100%.
Anywhere. Yeah. Like, and that's like a social media thing now. So I want to ask you about that. Like, do you think, like, let's compare, because before I know you did the WGN Chicago's Next Big Comic, you won, which is amazing. And I know that was like, that propelled you for sure, right? No? You don't think so?
No.
Really?
Not. I think it was more of an intrinsic thing, but like nobody knew what that was. It was just a contest, in Chicago that kind of like it was a partnership between Zanies, like, oh, we want to do something. I think it was like maybe like an anniversary. I don't know what it was. Yeah. But that was more, when I say intrinsically, like that gave me like the confidence for me to come back to Chicago, win Chicago's Next Big Comic in like a few months, and be like, all right, I made the right decision to pursue comedy. Yeah. So that was cool. And then that also was like my end to Zanies. Okay. So I was able to start working Zanies rather quickly versus like somebody that was like, all right, I'm gonna do the showcase. So I was able to go in, get a feature spot, and then being like, all right, cool, we gonna give you, feature spots and hosting all this stuff.
Yeah. Would you say that's what boosted you? Like with Zanies?
It boosted me, like I said, internally. Yeah. So it gave me like, all right, shit, I did it. But like in terms of like, I didn't get to like, I wasn't getting phone calls like, hey, come do this show, come do that show. I think like comics like recognized, oh, congratulations. But that was like short lived. Like most things, like time kind of dampens everything. Oh, you did JFL, congratulations. And then 6 months go by, ain't nobody talking about JFL anymore. It kind of came and went, unless your life, like you went and got a writing job or you did something and it took off for you. But kind of come and go.
Well, a lot of that comes from those events, though, right? Or from something like a JFL.
For some people, yeah. For some people, it does. Like I was at JFL with Sam J, Preacher Lawson, Rami. You know, he had his show came out like maybe I can't remember like a few years like after that, and like I was there with them, and at the time you don't know who's who. Yeah. And shit, you know, people take off. You know, and some people it was just like a step. It was like just the next step. So now you recognized by other people, but it's a lot of people that went to JFL that you probably would never know or you don't hear about anymore. Yeah.
And now the whole thing is gone now. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. It's the first year I got an audition for it, and then my agent's like, there's no more festival. And I was
and like, damn. I was able to go back-to-back years, so I did New Faces, then I went back and filmed Kevin Hart's, he had like a show called, I can't even remember the name of it. I think it's on Paramount or something like that. But it was just one of those things where it was like almost, I called it comedy camp, where you go and you see all these big name comics and everybody having a great time. It shows everywhere. It was a great experience. And I think we kind of moved into a space now where it's like nobody can really break you in terms of like comedy. Like it used to 20 years ago, you go to JFL, it's like, we are the authority on comedy. This is the next comic. Yeah. Now it's just like, all right, shit, get on social media, pop that way and take off. Yeah. And I feel like it's still like some people like have like that old mentality of like somebody gonna come get me. You know, it's gonna be opportunity. I mean, it's opportunities in everything, but at the end of the day, nobody can represent you better than you. Yeah. So you know, using social media as a tool and you know, you're working it yourself. Yeah. And creating those opportunities.
No, you have to now. That's the game now. I mean, we've seen people pop in our city just off of like 2 or 3 clips that went viral, and now they're touring the country. You know, I personally had one clip go viral, and I was able to tour, you know, a 6-city tour and sell out, you know, over 500 tickets just from like one clip that hit numbers. So it's like I see it with my own eyes, and I'm like, oh, this has to be it. Like this has to be the way. But I wanted your opinion on that because I feel like I like it. I feel like a lot of people, old school people, don't like the new, like all this stuff. But I feel like no gatekeepers I feel like it's a good thing.
It's good and it's good and bad because gatekeepers it's good because I feel like when people become gatekeepers, they abuse their power, right? Yeah, you can come, you stay. Yeah. But gatekeepers are oftentimes necessary to maintain a level of quality in what's happening. So it's like, I fuck with it, but I don't. Yeah. Because some people just be like, I don't like that guy, or okay, you cool because you kiss my ass. Yeah. But then also it is like, hey, I don't think you're ready yet. Yeah. So we don't. All the years that I thought I was ready for JFL, I wasn't ready. So when I did get it, I was like, oh shit, I wasn't as good as I was. So it's like having somebody say, you know, and again, it's like I don't know if you're abusing your power or I don't know if you really, because it's so many people in the industry that don't take their job seriously and they very lazy and they do what's easy, right? So you got 1 million followers, come on, you can come, and you don't have that many followers, but you funny as fuck, and you will probably be better than this person with 1 million followers. They just have created a following. You don't have that, and me giving you this opportunity could change your life, but because you don't have the followers, I'm gonna have to go with this guy. Yeah. And now you kind of in this space of limbo where it's like, fuck, like I know I'm good, but there's nobody to validate me. So in that sense, gatekeeping is fucked up. It's like trying to balance this shit out. So I'm kind of indifferent on like gatekeeping, but I also believe that sometimes, because people say, oh, just get on social media. Some people like, I'm not good with social media. Yeah. I'm better with like performance. And I feel like I've watched, you know, like older comics that's just like funny as fuck, but it's just like now you want me to learn a whole new skill set where it's like, right? Because like, all right, okay, I'll post my clip online, but it's like, no, but you got to post it like this, and you got to put the subtitles, and you got to be vertical, and you got to make sure the camera quality, and it's like, oh my God, I just want to tell jokes. Yeah. I just want to tell jokes, and back in the day, you didn't give jokes away. Yeah. Like you would work that set till it was tight, and then when the opportunity came, it's like I get to film a special, I get the late night set, I get a TV spot. Now it's like, damn, now the world gonna see it, and it's like, damn, them he funny as fuck. Yeah. But now it's just like you just churning out. It's almost like fucking you just churning out news feed shit. Yeah. Where it's like, damn, that joke, I've put shit out where I was like, damn, that joke is funny, but I'm like, if if I would have spent more time on it,
I'm the same way.
I would have been able to work it a little bit more. And now people don't even want to see that joke. They're like, oh yeah, I saw you when you did that joke. And it's like, yeah, but it ain't the same.
Yeah.
So I don't post on social media, and I have to find something that makes sense for me to post on social media.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to like just be giving like jokes away. Because sometimes it's like I'm hosting Zanies and I might have a moment. It's like, oh, that was fun. I could post that, but it's like, nah, I got to work on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I can grow that out.
Yeah. There was a there was a clip I saw of Ralph Barbosa, who Mo actually sent it to me, where he was on I forgot whose podcast he was on, but he was talking about literally the same thing, where he was like that because the Don't Tell set changed his life, and he was saying that Don't Tell set that went viral, he watches it now and he's like, damn, if I had more time to work on that joke or whatever, it would have been a much tighter set. Yeah. So like he thought like he still thinks like that, but I'm like, imagine if he was on that and didn't do the set or didn't do those jokes, he wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? So like you just kind of like goes kind of both ways. Even like I always wonder the same thing. Like I was talking to my boy Eunice, and we talk about this a lot, where I'm like, I don't want to drop this joke, I'm still working on it. And I remember one time he told me, he's like, you should think in an abundance mindset. So, sorry, that's Eunice.
That's all. That's all. I thought it was part of your, like you was having a thought. And I remember it. If you would have not said nothing, it would have been cool.
But what's his face? But I remember him telling me, he's like, yo, you got to start thinking in an abundance mindset instead of like a scarcity. He's like, with jokes. He's like, so it's okay, give this one out and you can still work on it and do a live. But I don't know. But yeah. So that's what he was.
So y'all not gonna let him in? Like
nobody's supposed to.
No, I was just joking. That's not him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought
there's a warehouse next door that does.
They just buzzed the wrong door.
No, I got you. I was like, you was just like, yeah, Eunice. He's like, yeah, that's him right there. And then you just keep talking. I'm like, so y'all not going? He can't come in.
That was a joke. No, he's not here. No, but yeah, so that's what he told me about that, and I kind of like. So then I kind of started being more like just dropping them.
Yeah.
And I've seen numbers and I haven't seen numbers, so it kind of goes both ways. So I don't know. I guess it's like it goes both ways. Really, you don't really know fully, but I don't know. It's a tough game, but it is necessary though. Whether we
100%, and that's why I say like finding something that works for you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like just doing something because that's what everybody is doing.
Yeah.
That's an empty feeling. But if I'm intentional with, I'm dropping this because I enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
And whatever comes from this shit, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But if I'm just like, I got to put a clip out, and it's just like, this might not be the best represent. This might be the clip somebody see and be like, he trash.
Yeah.
Like, why this? Because I've seen some clips. I'd be like, why would you why the fuck would you put this out? Like you could have just not put it out. But now when I see you, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker that's not funny.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's why for me it's like I have to do something that makes sense to me. But it has to be, but also recognize it has to be on a consistent basis because that's what it is. People follow you for a reason. People follow certain people because they want to see things. They want to be in. You got to engage those people.
Yeah.
And I've watched my numbers like drop 500-600 people at a time, you know, and then it just be like, it go up, then it go back down. So it's like, all right, I have to get active. I feel lazy when I'm watching people like say like a Josh Johnson, like T Murph, T Murph. I watched T Murph following in a year, fucking go up like 100,000, 200,000. Because he's found something that makes sense to him, and he's putting the work and putting the clips and stuff out where it's just like, all right, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Because me posting stand-up clips, I just feel like I'm just giving people comedy free. Yeah. Because like when I'm working on something like, oh damn, I know this joke works, but I don't want to give it away right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
So that's something I'm working on this summer.
That's good. I can't wait to see it. But I think, bro, you have so much stuff that's online already. You could take it's already online.
Yeah.
What hurts if you take what Laugh Factory posted on their YouTube and you just make that vertical and just drop that, or like take that 30-minute special you had on EPIX, clip that and drop. You know?
I've tried to post that shit.
Really?
I don't know what type of like securities they got on this shit.
What? They
like,
take it down?
Man, like so fast. Like
really?
Like if I post, this is owned by MGM group, like whatever. Like anytime I try to like clip that shit up, they take that shit so fast. Yeah.
We're gonna have to find a way to. Some people do it like inverted or something, or they do little ways to.
Speeds, turn the pitch up.
Yeah, it's got damn. That's so.
Yeah,
but damn, really.
Yeah, every time I've tried to like post on like YouTube, I've clipped out like music. I've tried a few things. Where I'm just like, God damn, they not gonna let me have this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you contact anybody from there and?
Shit, that was 2020. I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, turnover in this shit be so crazy.
Yeah.
Like I could reach out to somebody. But at the end of the day, I don't own the rights to it.
Yeah.
Like I own the material, but I don't own the rights to like the performance. Yeah. So
damn. Well, if you could find a way, but even the old clips that you have up on Laugh or whatever, bro, if you just take all that and then you mix it with whatever else that you want to do, bro, it's gonna go crazy for you, bro.
I'm curious about your. Do you write on stage more? Do you like more of a pen and pad writer?
no, I cannot write anything down.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I like creative writing. Like I'll write poetry, I'll write but like when it comes to like jokes, I feel like I have to perform it to trim the fat. Because if I write it down, it's gonna be fucking pages of pages.
Yeah.
But if I go on stage, it's like, all right, get to the point.
Yeah.
So when I started, I used to like sit down, I wake up in the morning, watch the news, and be like, oh, this happened, and I sit there and write page. I write, then I get on stage and I start talking, and then that shit'll be over so fast. I'm like, I said a bunch of extra shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking this creative writing where it's like I'm saying all this extra shit. It's like, just cut through the shit. What am I talking about? What am I saying? So that was my process where it's just like, all right, by the time you hear it on stage, I've thought about this shit over and over and over in my head. So when I get on stage, it's just like, all right. And I often say, be like, all right, this ain't a joke. This is just some shit I've been thinking about. Just to kind of preface it. And then it's like, sometimes it's like, all right, that shit makes sense. And people are like, damn, that's logical, but it's not funny.
Yeah.
So now it's like, all right, now I got to figure out how to make this shit funny. And sometimes I'll do that, and then it don't work, and then something else be another idea. Then I'll bring some shit together that was like an old-ass idea. Yeah. And that shit'll work out. So no, I don't write. I just kind of perform. I perform my thoughts. And I find it easier for me because people like, oh, how do you remember everything? I was like, because I know how I feel about shit.
Yeah.
Like real. I'm not making anything up. Yeah. If I'm telling you about a situation or I'm telling you what I saw or some shit I feel, I know how I feel about it. So I don't have to remember like, what did I say when I did the thing? It's like, because it's not made up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But how does that work when you're doing like an hour? Are you you're just like kind of piecing together then these bits that you put, and then you're just like, all right, this is the order, and that's just.
It's sometimes it's like a flow. Like I've somehow categorized it in my brain.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
And then sometimes like if it's something like current, if it's something new, if it's something that's just like I'm having fun doing, I'll just kind of order it in that way. And then when I get out of it, then I'll go back to like, all right, what can I put in this? Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about the first time I like saw you. You headline a weekend at Zany's. I know we talked about this off camera a lot, but Mo, I don't know. Mo, I think you came to one of the shows or not. So I hosted. He headlined all weekend. Bro, I saw your hour 5 times, and I laughed just as hard every single time. Oh, and I'm telling you, when I saw you, and I think a lot of comics feel this way when they do it. I was like, I'm quitting. I was like, you were you were levels above anyone I had ever seen live before.
What year was this? Like 21, 22? This is in Old Town?
This is Old Town. Yeah, like 21 maybe. Mm-hmm. Bro, I was like, it's over for me. I was like, I'm done. I was like, I can't do it. And I remember there was one show in particular. It was the 7 p.m. on, it was the early show.
So it had to be like Saturday or something.
I think it was the early show on Saturday. I go up there, I ate, like, it was horrible. And then that feature goes up there, it was even worse. And then I was like, oh, this crowd sucks, man. And then Calvin goes up and just tears it apart. And I was like, how fun? I was like, they hate me. I was like, this guy goes up in 5 seconds. He did what I was supposed to do up top, like in like 5 seconds. Like it took me 15 minutes. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get him. I couldn't win him over. And you came in there and you just freaking right away. And I was like, dude, this guy it's so special, man. And I mean, I know you know already, but I have to give you your flowers time and time again. Every time I see you, I feel like I tell you.
And I appreciate that. And I mean, not to downgrade like I 100% appreciate that. And it's that shit just come with time. Yeah. And I think I had to, and I've told you this before, where it's like the crowd is more intuitive than we give them. Mm-hmm. Like we just going on stage and we just like, I'm performing. Yeah. But for them, it's just like, no, we watching this shit in real time. Yeah. Because it was a period of time where I would just go on stage and it was like somebody pressed play on a tape recorder, because everything was like. Yeah. Like, you know, when you watch somebody was like, they not gonna change this shit. Yeah. And the crowd is like, if I yell right now, the CD gonna skip, but then it's gonna go right back to what it is. You see what I'm saying? So when somebody goes on stage and they look like, you see people on stage that's comfortable.
Yeah.
And you see people on stage when they uptight because they have a full view of like what's happening.
Yeah.
So they know when shit not going right. They know when a joke didn't go well based on how we. I just did a show in DC 2 weeks ago, and I started off talking about like Trump and Biden, and I'm thinking like I'm in DC. I'm gonna talk a little shit about politics.
Yeah.
And they wasn't fucking with it. I had 15 minutes, and like I started my set off with that shit, and maybe 3-4 minutes in, a lady in the crowd yells out, "You're not funny."
Damn.
In the middle of my set, it's fucking like 400 people in this big ass room.
Yeah.
"You're not funny," and I was just like, "I'm sorry, I'm not funny to you." And then I was like, "All right," like this mentally, it was just like, "All right," and I turned the corner. So if you walked in and left out in the first 4 minutes, you'd be like, "Man, dude, suck."
Yeah.
Because the crowd just because I didn't recognize in my head, like, oh shit, I'm in DC. These people work in government.
Yeah.
And I'm talking shit about like the people that like the person that pays them. Like you might work somewhere and so like you're under this, I ain't gonna say spell, but you just believe in this shit in some capacity. So me talking about we gotta euthanize Joe Biden, he's so old, and they no, I'm not fucking with this. So it's not funny to me.
Yeah.
And then if you walked in that 4 minutes and left out, you be like, "Man, dude, them motherfuckers." And then if you came in fucking minute 6 to 15, you be like, "Yo, he in there destroying that motherfucker." You know what I'm saying? So it's like having a presence on stage where it's just like the crowd doesn't dictate what I do. I dictate what the crowd does. Yeah. And even if they not fucking with it, I'm still gonna do what I'm doing. So
did she stay or did she leave?
No, she stayed there. So by the end of my set, I was like I had got the light. I was like, "I gotta get out of here, man. Thank you." I mean, I've been an awesome crowd, except that one lady over there. Like, everybody laughed and shit. But it's just like I have to. I learned to be so you have like I'm ultra present in the moment where it's just like this is live. I can hear you. I can see you just like you can hear and see me. So it's like I'm not gonna like some shit I'm not gonna let slide. And then some shit is just like for the greater good of the show, I let slide. Yeah. But the moment I step on stage, like y'all know, like I can like I'm gonna say some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like and letting you know that. And I don't care about you liking me or not. Yeah. My job is to be funny. I don't care about you liking me. And I feel like within that there's a level of likability because as human beings, we like people that know who they are. Yeah. You know, you see somebody, you be like, "That motherfucker, that's a cool motherfucker, man." I fuck, even though if you don't talk to me personally, but like, I fuck with you. Like, and that's why I always talk about like when I talk about people like wanting people to acknowledge them as what they are. Like, these are my pronouns. These are like, it's like, no, be your pronoun and we'll respect that. Yeah. But don't walk up and be like, "Hey, can you call me sunflower?" You guys call me sunflower. It's like you don't strike me as a sunflower. But if you came in this motherfucker confident and you know who the fuck you was, you like, this sunflower me, because you're confident who you are, and I feel like that's when people fuck with you, and I think that being able to exude that on stage, where it's just like, I don't need y'all to tell me I'm funny. I know I'm funny, and I carry myself as such.
Did you have that early on? Automatically, did you feel like
no? It was literally doing show after show after show after show, and the shows would just be, it's like you, because like you do a show and then you go to the next show like, "Man, I had a good show. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take this same energy." Yeah. And you get to that show and it'd be like, what's wrong with y'all? Why y'all being weird? Why y'all being weird? They like, "Motherfucker, we don't know where you just came from. We don't know what you did. That just fucking entertain us now." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, it took me to get to a point where it was just like, oh shit, I'm giving the audience a different collection of people, time after time, control of how I perform. Oh, y'all not laughing at that? Who got kids? Anybody? Why the fuck am I asking I'm going to tell the joke anyway. Stop asking these dumbass like crowdfunding ass questions. Does anybody wake up and go to sleep at night? It's like, what the fuck? Just tell the joke. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes like I when I do ask questions, it's because I genuinely want to hear like, "Oh, how long?" Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why do you think like that? Like I like when I'm on stage, I'm never right. In the sense of I'm 100% sure that what I'm saying is right. I'm 100% sure this is how I feel about this.
Yeah.
And if you can tell me something that may change me, so if I say something, you're like, oh, I don't agree. Wow, well, what did I say that was wrong? You said, no, I didn't say that. No, what I said was, and that's I feel like that's what we in comedy, where people are charging us with having an opinion on something when really we're supposed to. Don't be mad at me because this is my opinion. I didn't say Joe Biden, whatever the joke is. It's like, I'm not saying that definitely. I'm saying this is how I feel.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. And I'm sharing my feelings with y'all. But for you to come up here and be like, you said, like, no, you heard that wrong.
Yeah.
Or you heard some shit. And you had that experience. You had that experience on stage. And I'm just saying, like, I can't care about every individual person's feelings.
Yeah.
All I can do is go up there, one, talk about the shit that I want to talk about, that I feel like these are the things that I think about, but also be mindful that these people came to laugh. So make this shit funny.
Yeah.
Like those are the two numbers. That's my 1 and 2. I got to talk about what I want to talk about, because otherwise I'm being inauthentic if I go on stage and be like, I think they'll think this funny.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've all had that thought performing where it'd be like, I think, oh, they're going to laugh because if I did this, it's just like, no, that's not real.
Yeah.
I can't think for you. I don't know your temperament, but I can go up there and be funny the way I'm funny.
Yeah.
You know, and then people be like, oh yeah, no, that's funny. Like, I like the way you do his thing. So that's the only thing and it took me years. That's your question was. It took me time to get to, oh, fuck these people.
Yeah.
Not like fuck them, but fuck these people in terms of me. I have to be confident in myself. I can't be like, y'all, everybody like me? Everybody?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Everything cool? It's like, we got to stop doing that shit. Like, and I'm saying it take time to get there, but that be a pitfall because you want people to like you. They don't like you.
Yeah.
You walking in front of strangers. I don't know you.
Yeah.
You might not like the pants I got on. Like, I might walk on stage and be like, who the fuck is this weird looking motherfucker? Yeah. You might not like me because your girlfriend might be looking at me like, oh wow, he's cute, and you laugh. You don't never laugh like that with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that go into that, and I can't concern myself with that.
Yeah.
Because you've been on stage and you seen that one motherfucker in the crowd like,
yeah,
the whole show, he just like, hey man, your cat probably died today. I can't do nothing about that. So I'm not gonna be like, hey, why are you not laughing?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, so it's like, it's so many things where it's like, I can't concern myself with that.
Of course. No, you can't focus, especially on 1 or 2 people that are doing that. But you mentioned the story that happened at Second City. So I want to talk about that because that was like to me, like a big bro moment that I will never forget. Like, so basically, you know, to the camera, we were doing a show at Second City. He was headlining. I went up. We had like maybe 10 minutes or something. The first 5 minutes, I'm doing whatever. They love me. They're freaking. Then I'm like, guys, I'm Palestinian. And it's the second I say that, everyone's just like it gets weird. And I don't remember what I said exactly, but there was one joke where I mentioned the Quran, and then a white lady booed. And then she was like, boo. And I was like, you booing Quran? And I had already gotten the light at this point. Yeah. So I didn't say much. She was like, boo. And then I was like, you booed Quran? She was like, yeah. Maybe I said something like, oh, you going to hell. Maybe I said something like that, but it wasn't much. And I
think the joke was that you said, he's like, white women are reading the Quran in a book club.
Oh, yeah. That was it. Yeah. I said white women. Yes, I said we gotta convert white women because if they read Quran in their book club, I would want to join that book club. And that was it. Yeah, and then she booed the Quran and basically, I don't know if you saw it live or if you just came.
No, I came after.
You came after
because you came off and you was telling me about it.
Yeah, so I told him about it, and then Cal was like, I'm gonna address it, and I was like, no. I was like, that's okay, whatever. And he's like, no, I'm gonna address it. So he goes up, he kills for his whole set. And then at the end of it, he does a callback, and he's like, "Then I read Quran or something like that."
I'm dating this white girl, and she they reading the Quran in their book club, and the crowd like went up, like the crowd like because I asked you what the joke was,
there we go.
And then I just like threw that. It was like ran. I was like, yeah, I'm dating that. So I do that, and then the crowd goes up, and I was like, now it's funny. Now it's funny.
Yeah.
And then the one girl, she like had her hands over her face, and I was like, it was you? Was you the one that booed? Yeah. And she was like, yeah. I was like, why you booed? She was like, because he said white girls should read the Quran or something like that. I was like, no, he didn't. And I asked the crowd, I said, did he say that? And everybody was like, no, he didn't say that.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like addressed it, and I think I was kind of like, I wasn't being like stern. I didn't get stern until I felt like her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was like, "All right, bro, just move on." I was like, no, I just want to. I want to address this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as a comedian, this happens too often.
Yeah.
Where we say one thing somebody hears another thing, and then now that whatever you believe becomes real in that moment. It's like, no, you're not finna walk out of here and say that I said some bullshit. Like, no, I said some shit that was like, that tried to bring levity to it and make something funny.
Yeah.
And she was like, and I said, moving forward. She was like, yeah, let's move on. I said, no, I didn't say moving on. I said, moving forward. And I feel like the crowd was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I said, moving forward, you should allow people to talk and listen. And if you don't agree with it, it's okay to not agree with it, but don't disrupt the performance because they actually trying to perform. And, you know, the crowd clapped and all that shit. But I was just like, no, like, that shit ain't cool because... And what I said to you was, she would have left the show and would have been like, yeah, so this comic was up there. And I told him, it's like, no, you're not finna walk out of this motherfucker feeling empowered.
Yeah.
And now you finna go fuck up another show because you half listening. Yeah. And that's the thing that kind of disrupted comedy for a period of time when I feel like it was like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. We kind of got into this like real PC space where it's just like, oh, you can't say this and you can't say that. And I'm like, why can't we? Yeah. As long as what I'm saying is not malicious or damaging to someone or a group of people, then I can make fun or poke fun at like very obvious or social things about groups of people. Yeah. Because that's what brings us together. Like, oh, black people do this. Indian people do this. White people do this. Once we all laugh, like, damn, we do be doing that. Now we can laugh at each other. It's like, all right, man, all right, y'all take care. We cool. Yeah. But if you can't be a part of the group and outside the group, we can't play dodgeball and then you be like, but you can't hit him. Yeah. Yeah. Then why the fuck is he playing dodgeball? Yeah. I'm not trying to kick him out. I'm just saying if you want to play the game, you got to participate in the game. Yeah. I can get hit, you can get hit, but you can't get hit. No. Yeah, that's not how it works. Then either you playing or you not playing. If you're not playing, then I'm not going to treat you like one of the people participating in the game. And I feel like we got into that space where it's just like, no, you can't be here and safe while everybody else is, you can put a target on somebody. It's like, no. So that is where like why I felt like it was necessary because it was like, nah, that don't sound right. Yeah. And you talking about it's like, oh, a white girl booed you talking about like some shit that you qualified to talk about. Nah, fuck that. No, that shit ain't cool.
That meant the world though. When I saw that, I was like, I'll never forget that. I appreciate you doing that. And I was just like, I told everybody that story after I called him. I was like, bro, Calvin, like he did. It felt like it felt really cool because I respect you so much. No, so see you return that to me just was like, that meant a lot to me. And then you told me something I'll never forget that night. You said it's our job to talk about these things. And then you mentioned an example. You were like, if I'm walking on stage and I trip and I fall and I get the mic, I'm like, what's up, y'all? How we feeling? You're like, nah, like, you just fell. Like, you got to talk about it. The audience is going to be like, you just felt like, and like you said, we have to apply the same thing to like what's going on in the world. Mm-hmm. And I even watched your WGN interview recently. You were talking about your show From Chicago to the Moon, and you said something about like being from like not being comedy is like our job is to tell the truth, and this really resonated with me. Like how so I'm gonna quote you exactly. Actually, I have it on here because I love this mentality. You said we have to talk about the world as it is and like in a truthful way, and so that. Like mindset is like so to me, I love that. Like that's my favorite thing about comedy is being able to talk about all these other things that are going on, but obviously we have to make it funny. Like that's the catch. So hearing you say that is like, how did you develop that mentality as opposed to like something like kind of like senseless comedy or like do you mix both? Like is there you know what I'm saying?
I feel like sometimes I feel like sometimes I'm on stage and I feel silly and I might say some like all this shit and like I say something stupid. I'll be like, that was stupid. I don't know why I said that. Yeah. But I feel like everything like comedy as a comedian, I feel like there's so many comedians that like I just want to have fun and I want to make people laugh. Sure. And then there's some people that's like I just want to make people think. And then some people I want to make people feel something. Yeah. So it's like it's so many different styles of comedy, and if that's not your style, I understand. Yeah. But I feel like the people that I watch when I watch Dave Chappelle, when I watch Chris Rock, when I watch Bill Burr, when I like Bernie Mac, when I watch Eddie Murphy, it's like when I say like we talking about the world as it is, because I feel like it's so many people that kind of live in pockets of society where it's like this is their world, and they won't even acknowledge like, oh, it's really like poor people out here, and it's really like racism, and it's a lot of like inequalities. But as long as things are fine in my world, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't experience those things, and when you don't acknowledge it, then you kind of become part of the problem. I'm not saying you got to go out. Everybody is responsible for going out and changing the world, but I feel like some type of awareness, just having some type of awareness and acceptance, like, damn, my experience is not somebody else's experience, and I can't necessarily hold them to that, but me even just being able to listen to it and be like, I didn't know that. Like, so, like, for instance, I wasn't abreast of like everything that was going on in Gaza, and man, I can't think of my man's name. They own a restaurant in Hyde Park. How can I think of his name?
Cedars?
Yeah.
Cedars, yeah.
And I remember they were like explaining to me like how, you know, Israelis and had nowhere to go, and like all of like land, and I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't know this stuff, but me even sitting there like, okay, I'll listen to it. Now, would I get on stage to talk about it? No, because I'm not fully, I don't fully have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can't sit up and be like, oh, but I can listen to it and be like, I have an understanding of it. So if you get on stage and say I'm Palestinian and you talk about these things, it's like, yo, it's some real shit going on in the world. Yeah. And I can't just like close my eyes like, oh, I don't want to hear this. Like, no, this shit is happening, because the same way when Black Lives Matters and shit was happening, it was like, I'm not gonna turn it off. Yeah. It's like, damn, I feel for what's going on. I understand it, and while I may not have the same experience, I can empathize and be like, yo, that's fucked up. Yeah. And to be able to be like, I'll stand on the side of right any day, even if it ain't like for me personally, but it's just like, no, if wrong is wrong, that type of shit. And I feel like people will try to downgrade or take away, and they'd be like, well, you know, maybe, and try to, it's like, no, wrong is wrong. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna sit here and argue wrong is wrong. Like, if that shit fucked up, it's fucked up. And I feel like trying to turn your mind off to something just because you may not want to hear, I don't want to hear that right now. It's like, no, that's not fair. Yeah. That's not fair, because if it was some white women's rights shit going on, and
free I was the talking, nipple or something.
Oh, we have to, and I'm wearing a fucking vagina hat. Now you all in, and it's just like, no, you the same way you in for that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I don't need you to you don't have to join the march. Yeah, but fucking hear me out. That's at the least, just fucking hear me out, and that's comedy. All right, shit, this is happening in the world. How can I liken this to something, and let's talk about it, and that's why I love like Dave Chappelle. He's an amazing orator. Like he'll tell you all this information. Yeah. Take you around the block, through the neighborhood, show you all the houses. Then when you get back, oh fuck, this was a joke. Yeah. Fuck, that was a setup. But I still, all this other shit was truthful though, and he'll tell them so it's like that's for me, that's the type of comedian I want to be. I'm fun. I want to have fun. I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about people. I want to talk about what's going on in the world, where it's like got a little bit of everything. Yeah. And my job is not for you to agree with me. Just hear me out. Yeah.
I love that mentality, because I do think there is like a duty or a responsibility, especially now more than ever. There hasn't been a day or a night that I've gotten on stage since October 7th that I haven't mentioned. Whether it's at Zany's, whether it's at Second City, whether it's my own crowd, whatever. Yeah, I have to do this. It's I'm responsible to do this, and whether I lose someone or not, it is what it is. I feel like I have to, like you said, I can't let them dictate what it is. And it's not like I'm not gonna sit here and be like in 1948 that, you know, it's still funny. You know, I'm not over here giving, but it's like I will throw in like little lessons for people to learn, just because I need them to walk away knowing that something is happening. Yeah, and I feel like you said, if they just give me their ears, then like even a lot of, when I was touring, a lot of like Jewish people were coming to my shows, and like and at first, you know, sometimes like you like see the Eventbrite, you're like, you see the names, you're like, are they coming to sabotage, or are they coming to? Yeah. But no, a lot of them were coming to hear it out, because they were like, even though, you know, like whether they agree or disagree, they're like, that was funny. Like, we can't deny that the way you took it was funny. And I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do, is kind of bring these people together in this sense. But I don't know, not everybody's willing to listen. So the fact that you are actually means a lot to all of us. And I'm happy that dude from Cedars, you know, was able to sit and talk with you. And
yeah, because they were raising money. And I mean, I kind of went up there. My set wasn't like geared toward that, but they were like raising money. Yeah. And it's just also, it's just like information. You can't never be hurt by information. Yeah. Like it might not be some shit you want to hear. Yeah. But the information, like the information is the information. As long as you, like, I'm telling this to you straight without no bias. Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah. No, telling the truth.
But that's good. Nah, that's good. I mean, I feel like like I don't get on stage and say I'm black. Like everybody can see I'm black.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like I always had a problem with comedians that got on stage and said I'm not black enough. Like that always bothered me.
Yeah.
Like to me it's just like what you're doing is you put your people in the box when you say I'm not this enough.
Yeah.
And like I can understand like the humor in it
Yeah.
and like when you kind of like playing the stereotypes, but it always bothered me where it was like, no, because now you kind of play into the idea like that is what black is.
Yeah.
That's what it means to be black. It's like,
Yeah.
no, man, black is a vast like
Exactly.
and can't nobody take that from you.
Yeah.
And I like again, I understand the comedy of it, but it always bothered me. It was like,
no, I feel that because that's like we were talking about this too at Second State. That's like me going up and being like, look, I'm Muslim, but I'm not a terrorist, or like or just like, and that's like all. You know what? A lot of times with these like kind of wider crowds, that is what they want me to hear. That's what they want me to say. They want me to go up and be like, Allahu Akbar, like just freaking make noises and click and clack. And it's like I'm not gonna do that for you. I'm not your clown. I'm not your monkey. I'm not gonna dance for you. But it's like, but I'll talk about this in a different way, but they don't want to hear that way. They just want to hear the I have an explosive vest. That's just what they want. But like, I'm not gonna. I refuse to ever give them that. And that I learned that from watching a Chappelle interview where he was talking about the difference between being laughed with and laughed at.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not gonna let you guys. Even when I do like all white crowds, I don't do like when I talk about my dad, I don't do the accent. I don't do any of that because I'm like, it's still funny without it. But when it is like a minorities, like it's a mix, then I'll be like, all right, I could throw it in. But
right, because when it's when you're around your people, it's just like, oh yeah, let's tell. I'm a lean into it because like y'all know exactly what I'm talking
it's
about.
recognition, versus being laughed at.
Where it's like, oh shit, hey, that's my dad too. You know, like he said, you know what I'm saying? So I totally understand that.
Yeah, no, 100%. We've been going for an hour. Before we wrap up, dude, I just want to say you've done so much, like so much, and it's like, bro, it's so inspiring for us to see that, especially you come out of Chicago. We're trying to bring industry here and make things happen here, but I want to know your like your end goal. Like, what is it? What's gonna make Calvin Evans? Again, you've done everything there is to do. What's gonna make you be like, you know what, I'm happy with what I did, or are you already there? Like, what is it?
Well, I haven't done. I can't say I've done everything. I still
done a lot.
I will. Yeah. I will acknowledge I have done a lot of things. I would love to like be a lead on a TV show.
Hey, okay.
I would love to do like a theater, like in theater movie. And then I want to like tour the country. Like I want to like hit like all the major like markets like on like a big stage. So as of right now, shit, if I died tomorrow. And curated my body of work from 14 years. I've done things that I've dreamt about.
Yeah.
I've accomplished things in my life where I was just like, yo, I want to do that, and I did it. Have I reached the heights? No, I haven't. But I think I'm content with like, I'm a fucking dude from the north side of Chicago. And shit, I was on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I would have never dreamed as a kid. Like, oh man, like I'm on TV. I'm on a commercial. I met this person. I was on the stage with this person. So I think I don't, and I often I say this, and I acknowledge that I don't take into stock the things I've done because it's just like I'd like hit the check box and then it's like we're gonna move the sheet up. But I think after I did my when I did my EPIX special.
Yeah,
and I had like a watch party and like all my family and friends and people like that fuck with me and I like watched it. I was like, damn, if I died tomorrow, this is like a representation of who I wanted to be, and I got to honor my my parents and my grandmother and I talked about important things on that special. Yeah, because at the time Black Lives Matter was going on, so I felt like this is that. So we did Chicago to the Moon. That's another thing where I was just like, yo, that was something that was like a passion project, and like, okay, how do I grow this? But the end goal, TV, movies. Like I want, and no disrespect to Kevin Hart, but like I want Kevin Hart's career, but on like a higher level. Like I feel like Kevin Hart is very good at a lot of things. Yeah. But like I want to have like that line of acting, movies, commercials, all that shit. But I want to be Dave Chappelle level funny. I want to act like at a Jamie Foxx level. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I want to do all those things at like the highest level where it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
So it's like even like a Donald Glover where it's just like he can win a Grammy
and an Oscar.
And an Oscar in that same vein, but it's just like, but I also want to be like on the road, like hitting it like, damn, this motherfucker like funny. So I just want to do things at a high level.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
And you already are.
I'm trying.
You're doing things at a high level, and it's just, I feel like it's a matter of time for you, bro. Like for you to, I mean, you already did it, but it's a matter of time before you get that. I think, inshallah, and we'll pray for you, man. But
thank you, man.
But thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Kevin.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Do you want to plug your socials before we?
Everything Calvin Evans comedy. Everything Calvin Evans comedy on everything.
And any last words?
Man, free Palestine.
Hey, okay, we got him, man. All right, thanks, man.